We're joined from Cairo by Al-Ahram Managing Editor, Mr. Mohamed. Good evening to you, sir, and welcome to Qnews. Let me start by asking you about the consequences of Israel, or the potential consequences of Israel's resuming the E1 settlement projects for the West Bank and East Jerusalem.
Thank you for having me in Qnews today. Of course, this project was planned 20 years ago, and it didn't stop in 2005 when Israel withdrew and the occupation forces withdrew from Gaza, and so it is not new. But what's new is that it is a try to block the to block the road, or like to reach a two-state solution in the UN conference in the next month. So the plans are already there, and we see how fast the things were suggested, and the help was suggested to build this new settlement that will completely block the connection between Ramallah and Beit Lahem. And so this means that there is a strong will from Israel's side to not recognize Palestine under any way, and also this is a disrespect for the international law that prohibits building settlements on occupied land. And throughout the 20 years there were plans, but they stopped and came to a halt because of the international pressure. But with the cash flow right now, and with the American support, with the extremist government in the occupied land, it means that the government agrees to this, and that they are not just statements from one of the ministers or a leader of an extremist group. And so this is very dangerous and very negative in the international relations and with the Palestinian cause, and it needs to stop in every way we can in the upcoming days, or with the UN conferences. And there are calls, and there are actually stances on this, and on also Netanyahu's statements when he talked about the greater Israel, and they didn't talk about the history.
Now, from your point of view, how would the response be if President Trump confirms support for the E1 plan, and how would that, or what could be the legal implications of that within the international law?
Of course, these statements, just the statements, these are violation of international peace and security. And of course, we talked before that Israel has a small area, and so it is unexpected that America will approve. There are diplomatic point of views that America looks at, but everyone needs to know that the occupation forces and Israel's extremist government get full support from the USA, and so it will be actually difficult. It will be more difficult to face this on the diplomatic level, or also on the internal level on the occupied land. Blocking the connections, or blocking the road between the borders of the Palestinian country is, a plan to annex these lands, especially that in a very quick meeting the West Bank was agreed to be annexed. And so with the talks going on here and there about the start of a larger operation and new massacres in Gaza, this is looking even more difficult. And I think that the international community will have a huge role in the upcoming stage. And We don't want to forget that Hamas and the Egyptian resistance, there were positive initiatives, and so I think that this extremist statements from the Israeli Prime Minister or Smotrich, it means that there is they are trying to halt any negotiations and make them fail, and to also get humanitarian aid to Gaza and the reconstruction of Gaza after Hamas gave up control in Gaza.
Now, from your point of view, how could such a move provoke wider regional tensions between Israel and the neighboring countries?
Of course, just the statement of the Prime Minister and the massacres that happen, it is almost 700 days of killing civilians, Palestinian civilians, killing women, killing children, the elderly, and occupying the land, and also the destruction of the infrastructure of Gaza. This will negatively affect things, of course, and will have Israel rejected from the other countries, and they will have further plans, and it will also ruin the relationship between USA and lots of the countries in the region, and it will also escalate the tensions in the region completely, and the rejection of an Israeli occupation on Gaza will also increase, and we will also have further requests for a ceasefire and humanitarian aid in Gaza.
Now, what is the requested role from the international actors, including, of course, the EU and the US? What can they do in order to halt or mitigate the project?
The international pressure played a role before in stopping the Israeli settlement projects, even though some still were in progress, and also the policy of displacing the Palestinians from their homes, especially in the West Bank. So I think that it will be more difficult with the current USA government that supports the extremist government in the occupying country Israel, but the international pressure from countries from the European Union countries and also the countries of the Middle East and neighboring countries to Palestine, I think that it plays a role and contributes to halt and mitigate these settlement goals of the Israeli government. And we can't forget that this extremist government they can play a role in halting the settlement project.
Very clear, Mr. Mohamed, and that was Mr. Mohamed ElDin, Al-Ahram managing editor. We thank you so much for joining us here on Q News.